Hello everyone. In this practice, I wanted to share with you something that you can do for your hands and for your fingers. If you've been on my Instagram, you would have seen some of the videos I've been posting recently about wrists and fingers and all the time that we're spending on our computers and our devices. So I wanted to just give a little bit more detail for you guys in my community just to why I'm sharing these particular exercises. So you're going to start rubbing the hands together. And here we're wanting to just generate that heat into the hands. We want to get the energy moving. So just try and get in between all the fingers as you're doing this. Now you want to be a little bit vigorous as you do that, but obviously not too much so you're burning skin. Just enough to get some warmth. You want to be able to feel the warmth. Really in between the fingers, waking up the hands, and then just taking it a little bit on top. So you're getting on top of the hands, just in a way that's comfortable for you. So really get in there. And just going on the other side as well. Just warming up the hands. Good, and then it's very gently, just as if you're trying to warm up your hands on a cold day, just start to really move around the hands. You want to start feeling the hands, where the points of tension are in your hands. Or you can pretend that you're rubbing in some creams into your hands. That's it. And let's just start to loosen off the joints. So I'm doing a figure of 8 motion, and I'm connecting the heel of my hand together. That's the point that you want together, and then the fingers lightly interlace here. So as you're creating this horizontal figure of 8, or you can think of the infinity sign, what I'm doing is I'm wrestling. This hand is coming up and over, and then I'm wrestling. The other hand is coming up and over. So we start to really get into the wrist. Now as you're doing this, pay attention to how it feels for you. If you've never done this before, it can feel quite uncomfortable. So just take it smaller. Make it work for you. And then change and go the other way. Now we tend to favour one side more than the other. Can you feel how one side may feel tighter or a little bit more restricted, or you're just finding the coordination of it really challenging to find? I know this direction is really challenging, but I'm just wrestling, trying to get some movement. I'm using my hands and my fingers to pull over. It's like I'm going around a sphere. Just imagine that, just going around, loosening off your wrists. That's it. Good. And then from here, just releasing at the wrist. So you want your wrists to be really floppy. Just light. Try and keep the fingers a little bit apart as you're doing this one, so everything's not sort of being done in this sort of position. It's in Qigong, we use the hands as a sign of how aged someone's body is. We want to have long fingers and open fingers. So just keep it moving where it's comfortable. Remember, you can always modify this for yourself. And I'm just loosely letting my wrists flop up and down. And then we're going to change it. We're just going to go the other way. Now this practice you can do standing or seated. You can do this at the desk just before you start going on your keyboard if you work in an office. That's it, good. And now we're going to start to traction the fingers. So what I'm doing is I'm lightly pressing on my thumb. We start from the thumb and work to the fingers. Now I'm just slowly giving myself a little pull here, and I'm going to press on the nail and then release. And it's like you're pulling off your finger. And again, press and pull, release, press and pull, release, and again, press and pull, release, and then take it to the other hand. Same thing again, press and pull, and then changing, press and pull, release, and again, Press and pull. Release. Press and pull. Release. And again. Good. And then just do this with the fingers, like you're making little claws. Good. And especially you want to activate the index finger and the thumb. So really, when you're doing it, really create that. It's said in some of the ancient Qigong texts, which date back about 4,000 or 5,000 years, that this helps to prevent this onset of arthritis. So it's always good to give it a go. Obviously, if you do have arthritis, be mindful, listen to your body and listen to the advice of any medical practitioners that you're working with. Good. Now I want to do that exercise again. So get yourself nice and comfortable. Now as you do it, I want you to exhale. So you're going to breathe in, exhale, and again. And pressing on the nail bed. And there's a separation here. Repeat, other hand. Now if the breathing gets you muddled up, just breathe naturally. I'm doing a long exhale like I'm sighing. Ha. One more time. Exhaling. Pull things up. Good. And then just kind of getting into this action again. And then just really start to move your fingers as best you can. I always like to pretend like I'm sort of playing on a piano. I know you don't play the piano like this, but just imagine. Right, so you have this action here going, good, and then go make little fists and lightly create little circles. We're going to go in both directions. I'll probably do about 3 or 4 in one direction and just alternate it just for a little bit of variety. Don't like to sort of do too many in one direction and then change because you feel like you might be there all day. Okay. Good, and then taking the web of your finger, so this part here, and you're going to go web to web, and it's just like you're stretching out and rubbing in between the webs. That's it, and then move through all the webs of your fingers. Move away. Good. And you can finish off again with a little bit of that figure of A. Other way, just to kind of bring your palms back. Now I'm going to create a little suction with the middle of the hands. You can imagine, I sometimes call this farty hands because we create a suction and then you can imagine the sound that it's creating. So here we want to open up the palms. So the middle of the palms, we have a point that we use in Qigong, which is called the Lao Gong point. And this point here is where we're moving energy in and out of the bodies. When someone says they've got healing hands, they're referring to this part here. So we're just creating, we want to open up the hands, creating a little suction, and then release. Okay, I'm getting carried away now. Let's just do one more to each side. Good, and then a little shake out. So the shaking is always really good because it helps to release any excess tension that you've built up in the body. And relax. So I hope this video works in a way that you feel a difference in your wrists. I know it has really helped me and it is really helping my clients. Please let me know how you get on with this exercise or these exercises, and I'd love to hear how you're doing with them. They need to be done regularly. You can do this as a whole sequence, or you can just simply pick the ones that you feel slot into your life a little bit more easily, and then just work on those. Consistency is key. So the more regularly you practice, the more results that you will see. Take care everyone, and I'll see you all really soon.